Hello, everybody. Today I'm going to be discussing the Carolina Panthers running back room and situation going into Week 7 of the 2025 season against the New York Jets. Now, if you've been following the Carolina Panthers or fantasy football for that matter, you know that these last 2 weeks have been very good for Rico Dowdle. Now, going into the season, Rico Dowdle was the RB2 of the Carolina Panthers. So Chuba Hubbard, of course, if you're a Panthers fan, you know him. He just got an extension in the offseason. So obviously, the team cares about him. The team, we are devoted to making him our running back one. But Rico Dowdle's recent performances have brought some questions to that room because he performed amazingly. All right. He had over 200 yards from scrimmage in both Week 5 against the Dolphins and Week 6 against the Cowboys. So let's check out some of these stats from Rico Dowdle. Okay. So Week 5 against the Miami Dolphins, 23 carries, 206 yards, and a rushing touchdown. He also had a few receptions for a few yards, but over 200 yards on the ground. Now, I'll give credit to Rico Dowdle here, of course, but man, the O-line definitely helped make this happen. And also, the Miami defense is not all that great, let's be real here. But Week 6 against the Dallas Cowboys, 30 carries, 183 yards, and then 4 receptions and a receiving touchdown, as well as 50 receiving yards in that game or so. So obviously, he's doing a lot. Like, he set records in these games for the Carolina Panthers. That's how much he's been involved. The games before that, however, the 4 other games, I think he accumulated about 80 rushing yards, somewhere around that number. And his average was not very good. His average was much better against the Dolphins and Cowboys. So I think you might want to recognize the fact that, maybe the Patriots, Falcons, Cardinals, maybe they're better at stopping the run, because he had not an insane amount of carries, but a decent amount and only averaged around 3, right? Week 1, it was 4. Week 2, it was 1.5. Week 3, it was 3. And Week 4, it was 3.6. And then that number shot up. So did Rico Dowdle just completely break out and become an elite running back? Maybe. But I think we should give Chuba Hubbard an equal shot because our O-line wasn't performing that great at the beginning, and I think it's gotten better. I think it's found more of a rhythm as the season has gone on. So let's give Chuba Hubbard a chance to come back from injury, be given some carries, and see how that works out, right? Because I also pulled up his stats before. His average was slightly higher than Rico Dowdle in these games, and some of these he even had. Rico Dowdle didn't even have that many less. Obviously, Week 1 and 2, he didn't have many, but Week 3 and 4, they're pretty close in carries. So I think it's worth giving Chuba Hubbard a chance. You know what I mean? He's still a good running back, and I don't think he should be demoted to RB2 because of 2 great games from Rico Dowdle when Chuba was just injured. So I think in terms of the snap share, regardless of who's actually starting at the position, I think they'll be evenly splitting snaps for them and carries. I think Rico Dowdle will have more. So for those of you into fantasy football, concerned about starting Rico Dowdle or not, I have him on my team. I think I will. I'm leaning towards doing it because I do think he's going to get slightly more than Chuba since Chuba's coming off injury. But also, for everyone saying, I've seen some Panthers fans, this situation has sparked a lot of debate. I've seen some people say that we need to trade Chuba, right? And make Dowdle the RB1, just completely, just give Dowdle all these carries. That's not going to work, okay? He had 30 carries last week. He had to take himself out at the end of the Dolphins game and Cowboys game because his legs were cramping up. You know why? Because when you're given the ball against Miami, it wasn't 30 times, but between 3 receptions and 23 carries, that's almost 30 touches, okay? Point is, when you're getting the ball that many times, you're going to hurt, okay? If we keep feeding him the ball this much, he's going to be injured in 3 weeks, okay? Actually, you can't keep feeding a running back, especially this much production, when they're running into 300-pound men on the defensive line. You can't do that. You just can't do that. That's not sustainable and that's not smart long term. Which is why it's great that we have Chuba. It's great that we have Chuba and Rico in this backfield, okay? Because we can split their snaps. They're both talented running backs. I honestly think by the end of the season, the Panthers could have a top 5 running back room. Like, actually, like, we have potential for that. So, going into this week against the Jets, I do think Dowdle will see more snaps, but since Chuba's back, he will definitely see some. It's just you got to ease him back from injury. But again, we got to be careful. You don't want Dowdle getting injured, especially when he's performing like this, you know what I mean? So, in terms of the future for the Carolina Panthers, will we extend Dowdle? That's a tough question because we have Jonathan Brooks injured right now. And to be honest, I'm not sold on him, right? You know, when you have a system like this working with Chuba, Dowdle, and Trevor Etienne, like this running back trio, I really like it. I really like it. The only issue is Dowdle's definitely going to want more money after this season, and since we just extended Chuba, I don't think we'd be willing to pay that. Now, again, it's only been 2 games, you know, so we'll see, and against, you know, like the 31st and 32nd ranked defenses in the league. So we'll see if Dowdle can sustain this success and continue it. We'll see if Chuba can potentially come close to matching it. Potentially. But unfortunately for the future, I don't think Dowdle's here to stay, which sucks because I really like him as a player on this team. I really do. But let's just enjoy it while he's here, you know what I mean? As for the Jets game, regardless of the running back room, you know, everyone's saying it's a trap game, and of course it is. It could be. It could very well be a trap game for the Panthers. But a lot of people are saying, like, I'm going to take the Jets in this game. I'm going to go for the upset, you know what I mean? People are saying online, like, if there's one game on the schedule that I'm seeing for the Jets as a winnable game, it's this one against Carolina. 0-3 on the road. Well, guess what? The Jets are 0-6. They're hungry for their first win. This is the perfect game to get it. So I'm going to take the upset, and I'm going to take the Jets. That's what so many people are saying. So I don't even think, even though the Panthers are favored right now, like, you know, like as the winning team, everyone, so many more people I feel like are taking the Jets. I'm just going to be honest. I see way more people online predicting the Jets to win this game, and fair prediction. But, like, the Panthers never get any credit. And I know this has nothing to do with the running back situation, you know, the running back room, but I'm just saying, going into week 7, I really hope the Panthers can prove that they are a winning team. Because, you know, we destroyed the Falcons. I heard from people, oh, good job, you beat the worst team in the league. Like, of course the Falcons are not the worst team in the league, and yet people were still saying that. You know, we beat Miami. Oh, wow, you were down 17-0 and beat the worst team in the league. Good job. We beat the Cowboys. It's, oh, you beat the worst defense in the league. Like, no one will give the Panthers any credit for their wins. They will only mock the team that lost. And, you know, that must really hurt for the fans that lost because, you know, you're losing to the Carolina Panthers, the worst team in the league. Well, guess what? The Jets isn't exactly a statement game, but please, Panthers, please prove to me, prove to our fan base that you can win a game that you should win. And please prove that you can sustain some consistency on offense. Bryce Young, please prove that you can be consistent as a quarterback in the National Football League. That's my rant. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, stay tuned for more. See ya.